Yeah, I had to check my last video to it's only a few days ago. I didn't want to do any repeats or anything like that. But that neck thing I had where I had like couldn't turn my head to the left and stuff, it's still hanging around a little bit. I mean, I never had nothing like that. It's been like 4 days of that. But that's not really my problem. My problem is like my pain's all amped up crazy. To where last night, yeah, if I had a gun, I'm out of here. I was like fantasizing about having a gun. That's not good. But I ended up taking two Neurontin. I did. I've been. I dropped my dose on volume. Back down to where I've been. Um, 2.5 milligram doses a day. I remember taking the glasses off this time, even though the lighting's really weird in here. But yeah, I wake up today in extreme pain. Go to bed last night in extreme pain. And like if you sit there and you talk calmly to people, you tell them you're in extreme pain, you don't get it, or you laugh like I just laughed, they don't get it. But if you've been in an extreme, if you've had CRPS, let's see, 1853 for 35 years, it takes a lot to make it to the point where you're screaming and crying and shit. It just takes a lot because you had a lot of practice absorbing pain. So that's part of the problem. Like when I go to places and say, "Look, I got a lot of pain," or like they just look at you like, "Yeah, you don't look like it," but it is what it is. I didn't choose this life for myself. Like I told people in the Cleveland Clinic, I didn't magically decide to grow a tumor in my spine to get out of living. That's just how things worked out. Because they had a theory in the Cleveland Clinic pain unit that people used chronic pain as an excuse to get out of life. In other words, like, I don't have to have a job. I don't have to have responsibilities. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. It's like, no, I just had a spinal tumor almost paralyzed me. I mean, I did not grow a spinal tumor inside inside my spinal column on purpose. Yeah. Um, the only thing I can really be faulted for there is I was a dumb kid and I was too afraid to confront the reality of what was happening to me until I couldn't pee. And when you can't pee, at some point, you're like, I need to go to the doctor because, you know, that's an enclosed area. It was a benign tumor pressing on my spinal column or spinal cord, the actual spinal cord inside the backbone. And it was impairing the function of the nerves that were going down to my legs and, you know, my ear down. So, yeah. I think the thing that really pushed me over the top, besides the having trouble peeing thing, was you gotta remember I'm like 15 years old. Was I was walking home from fishing at this place that wasn't very far from my house, and my legs just decided not to work, and I fell down like 4 or 5 times. It's just like the nerve impulses were getting impaired, and like I would take a step, and instead of landing here, my leg would land over here, and then my other leg would trip me. And it's like it was almost like comical, maybe from the outside, like watching a stumbling drunk or something. But of course, I was stone cold sober, and I only had to walk like 5, 6 blocks, and I fell down like 5, 6 times. So I made sure I walked in the grass. But at some point, I try I try to remember all that stuff. I don't know what the point in remembering it is, but or telling you about it. I don't know what the point of telling you about it is. But I think how it went down is like I was going to a chiropractor for my back when I had a spinal tumor growing in me because I don't know, my life is stupid. And the chiropractor said you got a bunch of inflammation back here. He's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And then he sent me to a real doctor because I don't know what chiropractic does, but it don't do nothing for tumors. So he's seen this big red inflammation thing on my back, and I don't know, why that was there, but he was like, yeah, you got to go to your regular doctor. I don't know if he called my doctor or what, but I ended up at my regular doctor, and they didn't have MRIs back then. Because, x-ray is not going to show that tumor because it's inside bone, it's inside the spinal column. So, and they didn't have an MRI, which penetrates bone. So, what they did is they put me like Frankenstein's monster on a tilt table, and they injected dye high up in my spine. I made the mistake of looking back, and it's like a needle, like yay big, like something you'd stick in a horse. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And they had me numbed up, but I feel like that sense of pressure. And they penetrated the cartilage and the, in between the vertebrae. And put dye in my spine. And then they tilted me upside down and back and forth in this table thing. And tried to see, the dye will show up on x-rays. So, they tried to see what if I had some kind of blockage in there, and sure enough, the dye couldn't get past that tumor. So that's how they found the tumor growing inside me when I was, I don't know, 15, I think 16. But I think it was 16. But my point was I was having symptoms before that, but I couldn't face up to it. I was a chicken shit, and if I would have faced up to it sooner, maybe I would have had less damage done. Who knows? You can't second guess yourself. And plus, I was just a scared kid. So, but anyways, so yeah, you just have to take my word for it that this pain is off the chain. Last night, I was pretty close to freaking out. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. You get the urge to just like punch yourself in the face, and it's weird, but you're just sitting there and you're trying to maintain, but how like you're in a chair or something and you just like say the dentist chair, you're white knuckling it and shit. I'm just laying here watching some stupid western, and I'm just thinking like, fucking start punching myself in the face. It's like I'd like to be unconscious right now. I don't have any. I'm not going to take a bunch of Valium and knock myself out. And yeah, ever since that one doctor threatened me with like home invasion, psychiatric nurse, not really a doctor, but when I found out all that shit, and I had to like hide my stash and all that, and then of course talk about it on here, which kind of nullifies the fact that I hid my stash. But anyways, I'm not worried about that much anymore. I mean, of course I'm being stupid, but what the fuck, I don't care. Um, but once all that happened, it's like that freaked me out pretty bad. So I took a little bit more Valium than I was accustomed to, and had more suicidal thoughts, which is not the purpose, I think, of psychiatric care. And then things have been worse since then, because I'm a delicate little flower. Let's face it. It's like yeah, like I said, if I get emotionally upset because it's an autonomic disease and it's hooked into the hypothalamus, I remembered this time, which it processes pain and pleasure, and your emotional states affect that area of your brain. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I know the hypothalamus is the part of the brain that processes pain and pleasure. So, anyways, so aggravating me like that was really bad for me. And I tried to do some stuff too yesterday, which probably wasn't cool. I was digging around in that closet back there and making room and rearranging shit. And I still have stuff bagged up from the bed bug incident of 2018. that I haven't taken out of bags. I should just start throwing shit out. Just I have like old. I'm not a pack rat or anything like that, but I have old like meaningful things. Like have like personal meaning, and I don't know. I just don't like to throw shit like that away. Like I had, mm, I guess it would be my cousin slash foster brother's nephew. So it's not really even a relative of mine. But when he was young, he like made his own magazine, like a street magazine. They used to call them zines. It was like a fad or something. I have that in a box in there. But I'm digging around in my closet yesterday until the pain in my leg is like drives my heart rate up, and I got to lay down. And I think that's what's driving my heart rate up is the pain. So I think what I have to do is I have to do specific exercises, just like walking and lifting weights. No bending, stretching, moving, like weird motions or whatever. And to keep from aggravating my leg, even though you feel like you're not doing anything or getting anything done. You're just walking around. What the fuck does walking around do? I'm providing carbon dioxide for the plants outside. You're not getting anything accomplished as far as like, if you're actually putting forth some kind of physical effort and you're like, look, I got my closet rearranged and I got this stuff out of the way and I've been moving. You got something to show for it. What do you got? What do you got to show for walking? So, but yeah, I might have to limit myself to just walking and lifting weights to work my heart because the pain in my legs. It's my left leg. It's a bitch right now. My right leg is okay, but my right leg is the one with the Baker cyst in it. So this is a fucking nightmare, and I'm not digging it at all. But I did find something while I was rooting around. Hopefully, I can reach it. I put it back here deliberately. It's got a hook in it, so maybe I'll hook my fingers with it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now people ask me all the time and they make fun of my name, pork frog, but this is a pork frog. It's all bent and weird. But see that thing on the end of a fishing lure? Whoops. It's all bent from being in a box, but you see them like froggy legs? That's made out of pork rind, and it's some kind of spinnerbait fishing lure. Like it goes like this, and then it's got those wire things. You're supposed to ride across weeds or across the bottom to keep the hook from snagging, and if the legs were straight, it kind of looks like a frog to a fish. Fish or attack predators, they just see outlines of things. They don't have time to say like, is that a frog or is that not a frog? Is that a minnow or is that not a minnow? Because if they think about it, the minnow or the frog is gone and they don't get to eat. So they gotta like, they just, they're called ambush predators. But anyways, yeah. Also, I haven't been able to like disrupt my 2 to 3 year routine of like hiding in this room. I have the living room cleared out. I have a recliner out there, but I've just been crawling back at bed. And it's like, you got a chair out there. I have to leave the window open for the cat. The cat has not been eating right, and he doesn't look too good. He's like real leery of me, so I don't know there's something wrong with him. So I got to think about that too, because I don't have a gun to put him out of his misery or me out of my misery. So you know, he's old, and I don't know what's going on with him. I never should have accepted him. My sister like palmed him off on me because my older sister's irresponsible. And as I've said before, I actually sold sports cards in order for them to get their cats spayed and neutered. My sister, my brother-in-law, because it was driving them crazy. They had like unfixed, like they're broken. That's what we used to call fixing a cat or fixing a dog. They had unfixed animals going around their house pissing all over everything. So, and they were pretty out there at the time. So I was like, man, this is crazy. And it's like, I didn't have any money, but I had a bunch of sports cards. So I like, it wasn't easy selling all them cards either. It was like nickel and dime shit where you're like making $3 and $5 a lot. Sometimes I would do better, but I had to sell in volume. So it was a lot of work. I wasn't, I don't know what year that was, but I think that was pre-benzo days. So I could actually do shit like that, like put work and effort into life. So, you know, anyways, I did that. They had another cat, and they didn't get it fixed. It got knocked up, and they had kittens. And my sister insisted that I should have a cat, and I was like, "Well, this is a good neighborhood for a cat." And I didn't foresee, I got that cat in like 2012, so I did not foresee my life turning into shit and like not being able to take care of him and stuff. So, but I should have never got him in the first place. I didn't need a cat. It's like my sister thought it would be good for me and wanted to had a cat to get rid of, more or less. So she talked me into it. And you got those stupid the stupid thing that happens where you're with your brain that makes you forget how awful things are so you can keep living. so so I had cats that have died horribly because I'm not a good pet owner, and I did it. And you're like, you remember the cool things, you remember the good things. So it's like a defense mechanism that your brain does. So you remember the good things or the good memories to sustain you and keep you going, because life is number one above all about survival. Everything is geared towards survival. Why? I don't know. That's just the way it works. All your biologists and evolutionary theorists will tell you this. So I remembered all the good things about having a cat, and not that I don't know, they piss on things. You have to clean in the litter box. You have to worry about them in the wintertime. You have to keep them fed, and that costs money, and all this other stuff that they do. Um, but yeah, that's just an interesting thing about the way our brains work. Is even like remembering my childhood, I have like a lot of fond memories from childhood and stuff, but the intellectual part of me is like, no, man, you had a miserable fucking childhood. But there's another part of my brain that wants to tell me, like, remember all the fun that I had and what it was like being a kid. And that's just the way people's brains work. I mean, as far as I know, i'm not I'm not an expert at being other people. I just observe other people, and I read some books, read some stuff about it. I used to read a lot when I was younger. So you can be the judge if I'm wrong, and of course there's always exceptions to the rule. So, but yeah, it's like I have that my foster brothers. He actually said outright, I had a pretty happy childhood, and it's like, yeah, you were starved, beaten, mistreated, and you ended up in foster care. How the fuck is that a happy childhood? How much dope were you smoking when you were young? Like, he had a way worse childhood than me, and I don't know. I'll just go ahead and say this shit, but it's like he had a choice when his mom went to jail. He had a choice to end up in two places. One place, his decision boiled down to food, because he grew up looking like a refugee where you could play the xylophone on his ribs. So he had a choice to live in my house where the refrigerator was always full, or to live in another relative's house where the refrigerator was always empty. So, he chose the full refrigerator. That's what it was come down to. So, that's why he grew up kind of sociopathic and like using people, is because when you get thrown into a survival situation like that, emotion kind of gets pushed to the wayside. It becomes about survival. So that's why I always gave him like a lot of rope. I don't talk to him anymore. I don't know if I'll ever talk to him again. But I always gave him like a long, I knew what he went through when I grew up with him and stuff. And I mean, one time when he was a little kid, his drunk mom left him alone. He was taking out the garbage. He was so small. that he threw the garbage bag over his back, and there was a broken bottle in the bottom of the garbage bag. And like on a regular sized person, that broken bottle would hit him maybe in the ass, maybe in the low back. It hit him in the calf. That's how small he was. I don't know ages. And cut him really severely. And he called my dad in a panic, crying and shit, bleeding profusely. Instead of calling 911, he didn't even know to call 911. And probably thought, well, if he did know, he probably thought, I'm going to get in trouble because it's going to be a bill that my mom has to pay. And she needs that money for booze. So, he called my dad, and my dad took care of it. And I think, took him, I don't remember if he took him to the hospital. I don't remember if he got stitches. We're talking about like a 8, 9 year old. So, 8, 9 year old left to his own devices. So that's not a happy childhood. Come on, man. I actually remember like the details, some of the details around that, because it was kind of an event. I remember like them talking on the phone and him being like, calm down and shit. But I don't remember if they went to the emergency room and got stitched up because I wasn't there, or even if it needed stitches. I don't remember the bandage on his legs. I remember watching the movie Tarantula, the Deadly Cargo with him and being like, cool. Because I didn't have any friends. And the neighborhood was like all kids older than me. And there wasn't no kids my age in the neighborhood, so I didn't really have any friends in the neighborhood. And I always loved it when my future foster brother would come over, because I was like, cool, I got a friend. We can go fishing, we can do things and have fun. So yeah, that's rough when I had to say, look, man, I'm just tired of being mistreated. It's like, put up with you for years and years and years. And I wrote him a Dear John email. I didn't even want to talk to him. I didn't want to hear. Didn't want no dramatics or nothing about it. It's just like, I didn't even. He wrote me an email back. I didn't never, like I said, I've never read it. But anyways, uh, I don't know. I can talk about, like, since I brought up selling sports cards. That was kind of funny. Is my aide worker who's got this massive memorabilia and coin collection, because I think her husband's father left it to her. I think somebody left her all this stuff, so it's all gravy to her, but it's taking up room in her garage. It's like, that's so many cards and so much memorabilia. It's taking up space in her garage. And then she's like, I got a bunch of coins too. I was like, man, I wish somebody would leave me a bunch of valuable ass shit. So anyway, she comes over on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. And cleaned my bathroom like in a half hour. My bathroom has not been cleaned properly for like 6 months. I made it hasn't been cleaned properly in like forever. But within the last 6 months, I uh, sucked it up and limped in there and cleaned the sink and the toilet and stuff. But I can't get behind the toilet because of the way it's situated. But she cleaned the whole bathroom like in a half an hour. I was like, I don't want to spend any money on cleaning supplies, so she just used what was available, and she did a pretty good job. But she didn't bring me her LeBron James. She just grabbed like 3 card albums on the way out, 2 small ones and 1 big one. So I'm looking through these cards, and I'm like, well, we got some Magic Johnsons here. We got some Michael Jordans. These Michael Jordans, if any cards are going to be worth anything, it's going to be these Michael Jordans. So I'm looking them up, but, a lot of them are from rinky-dink card companies, there's major card companies like Fleer. So I'm looking up this Fleer card, right, number 120, 1989. And so I'm like, oh, I'll bookmark this and see what it goes for. But at the time, it was going for like $10. And she was here on the 23rd, right? So I'm looking through there, and I'm like, well, this is mass produced late 80s garbage. It's like, this isn't worth much. Well, there's this Bo Jackson 1987 rookie card. This should be worth something. It's worth about $10. I watched the auction go off on that. So I just tell her like, you don't have any $100 cards in here or anything. It's like the only way you're gonna make money off of this to where it's gonna be worth your while is if you sell these in bulk. But I saved that in the auction for eBay. I saved that number 120. Okay, so she leaves. Throughout the day, I'm watching this Michael Jordan 1989 Fleer All Star card, and it goes from $10 to $97.83, like in the space of 12 hours or less. Just watching it like all day, like, oh, now it's at 20, now it's at 40, now it's at 53, now it's at 68, now it's at 70. What the fuck? I thought it would go up to, over 100, but it didn't make it over 100. It was like, with shipping, it would have cost the person, with shipping and tax, it would have cost the person $100. She held them three binders in her hands and she's like, I'd take $50 for these right now. And I don't regret it, because that person paid double of what she offered me, like all the cards for. For one card, that person paid double. But I don't know if she was offering me or just stating it in general, but she was like, I'd take $50 for these right now. I just want to get rid of them. And I don't regret it because I don't like selling cards. So I got all my own cards to sell that are more valuable than that one. So, uh, but that did really well. Uh, so I'm going to tell her that tomorrow. It's like, yeah, you need a better expert than me because I told you didn't have any $100 cards, but it turns out you did. So that's what was my advice to her as far as her huge collection of shit is like, you got to get somebody who knows what they're doing. I've never really dealt basketball cards, but you got to get somebody that knows what they're doing to look at them. And there's two ways you sell cards. You sell them in lots, or the best way, you sell them in individual cards. You can sell them individual cards like that number 120, and you can make out good. But if you could put that card in a lot, because collecting doesn't make any sense, because basically it's people paying a whole shitload of money for cardboard, so it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I mean, the only practical value a card has is if you need to light your gas stove. It has no practical value. It's like, it's all subjective, abstract, in art, memorabilia, uh, nostalgia type of thing. So there's no predicting it. You can actually make, I've sold cards a lot. You can actually make less money selling that same card in a lot. Say you take your number 120 and you sell it in 10 cards, you get $80. You take it by itself where somebody only wants that card, you get $100. It doesn't make any sense because, you know, people just want that one card. They don't want extra cards. They don't understand that you can just take the extra cards and throw them away, because collectors are weird people. They don't think like that. That's why one of the reasons I don't like dealing with collectors are weird people. I'm not really a collector. I'm a dealer. I buy stuff. This guy was a collector. That's also like a strike against that collection necessarily having any massive value because he just liked to collect shit. So that's different. That's somebody that likes to have a whole bunch of shit. I like to buy stuff because it's fun to try to find deals. I hate selling stuff, but I have no problem selling anything. I will sell anything at all. I'm not sentimentally attached to material things. Though, like I said, I don't like to throw out keepsakes like that. I guess that would be sentiment. I guess I'm being contradictory. But as far as like if somebody offered me money for that magazine that my nephew, whoever wrote, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $5 right now. But as far as just throwing it away, that just seems wrong. Or like there's letters in there and postcards from my niece when she was in Afghanistan. It's like I got some of that shit saved. It's like got, I don't have enough space for all this stuff. Is the point? It's like it's much easier to have less things. So I don't have enough space for all this stuff. The window's open and the birds are chirping and the weather's really nice here. But I thought that was kind of funny. It's like I told her, like, man, you don't have anything that's worth here much here, and then I tracked one of her cards after she left, and it went from $10 to $100 basically. I'm like, okay, well, she's like scrubbing toilets for a living. $100 is probably pretty good money. So, you know, well, she's 68. She's probably a lot of people just like to keep working. So especially someone like her. So a lot of these people that do these jobs, like the people that drive for scenic view transportation, they're all senior citizens. They just want to get out of the house, do something. A lot of them don't need the money necessarily. So, but why you would want to like wipe people's asses and clean toilets and deal with grouchy, half-demented people for a living, you'd have to really be like a saintly, want to help somebody type person to do that and it not be about the money. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe I'll ask her the next time she comes here. I don't know. She's an interesting person. She's very lively. She's the liveliest 68-year-old I know of besides my best friend who's 67. Dude's always like playing something called pickleball or fishing, or him and my brother went fishing at the Sandusky River and they fished all damn day, and that is not an easy trip. And they told me something funny, which if my brother wasn't the one telling me, I wouldn't have believed them, because one of the reasons why that's one of the first places I had to stop going is to fish the Sandusky River from shore. You have to walk down a hill like this, and there's rocks and loose dirt and shit on this hill. So when I would walk it, even like 15 years ago, I would use like my fishing rod. This is before I was even using a cane, but I would use my fishing rod as a cane, like walking down that hill. And I would take all day. I mean, I would take like 15 minutes going down this hill, and it's a substantial hill, but you're got to be like a mountain goat, like picking your way. Like, if I step here, will I fall and die? Because if you fall, there's some serious goddamn consequences, because there ain't nothing but rocks. You have to find like a little trail between the rocks, and a lot of times you can't walk straight down. You have to walk this way, walk that, snake your way down there. So my brother tells me a blind guy is fishing down there, and I'm like, how the hell did a blind guy get down that hill? It's like, I was like, did anybody help him? And he was like, no. I'm like, he must have really good communication skills with his feet. And so he was fishing next to. He said, "Man, that trip sucked. I was fishing next to a blind guy and some fat slob that kept crossing my line." So and I forget what he called him, but he phrased it more in a more funny way than that. He said the blind guy was okay. I didn't mind fishing beside the blind guy, but that fat guy had to go. My brother he likes to fish with some room and space. He would basically like to be the only one there. He likes fishing with a buddy, but he don't he's not into conversation or anything like that when he's fishing. It's him and the fish. That's all he's caring about. And like, he will stop fishing and talk to you and stuff, but then when he's fishing, just like leave him alone and let him fish. So he don't like people. Well, he's a misanthrope like me, but he don't like people. So yeah, but when he told me that a blind guy braved that hill, I used to think I was brave. I could at least see. Well, maybe it's worse because the blind guy. Maybe it's worse if you can see, because the blind guy can't see what the fuck is going to happen if he takes a misstep. Because I'm telling you, man, that hill is steep, and it's got shale on it. It's got like loose dirt. It's like, I almost seriously got hurt walking down there a couple of times. And yeah, it got my heart going before I had this heart thing going on for years, because I had like my first heart episode when I was 36, and I didn't have another one until I was 46, so I had a 10-year grace period in there. But yeah, a blind guy walking down that hill, man, that blew my mind. But yeah, maybe he does have an advantage, because he can't see exactly how bad he's gonna get busted up if he fucks up. So he's just going down the hill, just taking it one step at a time, like testing his foot. My brother said it took him a while, but nobody helped him down that hill. So he's just like, feeling around, like, that's a good foothold. Okay, that's a good foothold. Just gradually making his way down the hill. He had somebody with him, of course, to help him out, a guide dog that weighed about 300 pounds. But, he's just telling him, like, okay, you kind of want to angle to the left, and I'll meet you when I'll be down there. Just call for me when you get down here. And just, you know, let him do his thing. So, a blind mountain goat, man, damn. That was pretty interesting. Uh, you know, hopefully I described it properly, but, that's a breakneck hill, man. You fall down that hill. You fall down that hill. You are not getting up with all your limbs intact. You're going to have a break, a dislocation, uh, laceration, severe deep bruising. I mean, you're not just going to fall and get back up. You're going to go down that fucker. There's going to be some consequences. You might have concussion. You might die. So, yeah. Um, eh, I always find something to talk about. It's even though my brain is all murky and I am yeah, not good. It looks like I'm going to throw myself in a situation where it'll be like, now you got to go to the doctor because I'm not making any calls or doing anything. I don't know, man. Medical community done me too much dirt, and I just don't want to deal with them. I hate the whole process. I know I don't have any choice. That makes it even worse that I don't have any choice. And of course, that latest thing where somebody associated with the medical community is gonna have the police come in here and like root through my shit. You know, but I gotta have some kind of painkiller, or I'll bash my head in with a rock some night. It's a good thing I have like an aversion to pills. You know, I would have no trouble pulling the trigger, but taking a whole bunch of pills, I figure you can screw that up. Or like what happens to you? Like what if it induces vomiting? There's like a lot of what ifs. I'm not even going to go into them. But you take like massive overdoses, and I've researched the matter. But if you take massive overdoses, I don't quite understand the experiences. I've seen animals shot before. If you do it right, it's lights out. It's flipping a light switch. I don't know nothing about. I never seen nobody like uh, OD before. I've seen a guy have a heart attack before, and he was in the bed next to me in the hospital, and I think he died. I mean, I don't remember, but I got thrown down on the bed. I remember that part of it. This guy like turned purple and red, and people came in there and they had the crash cart, I guess they call it, and the defibrillator paddles, and they were trying to stabilize him and shit. And I was standing up, and some dude came in there and said, "Get the fuck out of the way, man!" And he pushed me down on the bed, threw me out of the way. It's like, I'm in a hospital, man. Maybe I got a condition where you shouldn't be pushing me, but I was just watching it because it's not something you see every day. And I'm actually talked to the guy and knew the guy, and he's like purple and red, dying, and I'm just standing over top of him, and he pushed me out of the way, and they even drew the curtain so I couldn't watch anymore. And there's a bunch of frantic like stuff you'd see on TV, and then they wheeled him out of there. I don't remember the upshot of that. I never saw the guy again after they brought in the crash cart and that guy threw me down on the bed. And I don't even remember what hospital that was in. Um, you think I'd remember? You think I'd remember shit like that? But no, I don't remember. I I remember like weird pieces of things always. Um, my memory is a broken landscape filled with shattered monuments interspaced through the web of time. So yeah, gotta get that hook off my bed. It's probably not a good thing to have a hook, you know, sleep next to a hook that size. I've never had a hook that size in me in my life. As a matter of fact, I'm real careful about hooking myself. I'm not real fond of it. So, yeah. I, I bet you as a fisherman, I'm the least hooked person in the world. But I think I'm trying to remember, like, have I ever been snagged? Because you fish next to people that are assholes and are not careful. I know I've yelled at people and almost gotten fights for people almost snagging me when they cast. But I remember on Lake Erie, my Uncle Lee got his hat snagged and thrown in the water. Somebody hooked his hat off the top of his head. Like somebody shooting somebody's hat off a Western. Somebody casted and almost hooked him in the head and hooked his hat off of his head. And he was like, "Hey!" He always said was, "Hey!" He didn't. He didn't swear much. You know, that side of the family they didn't swear much. Uh, I would be a little bit more upset than that. Somebody like almost snagged me with a big ass Erie Deary hook in the back of the head, but just snagged the hat right off his head and then reeled in his hat and gave it back to him after he unhooked it. Got the worm guts off it. Nah, I don't really want to die. I just don't want to live like this. I don't see this as being any kind of life at all. I can't seem to do anything. I told myself yesterday, like, okay, after I'm gonna do some work here, and then I'm gonna lay down and watch a Gunsmoke episode, and I'm gonna get back up, and then do something else. And it's like, no, you're not. You're gonna lay here and watch another Gunsmoke episode. And I like fell asleep 3 times, and that was like 8 o'clock at night or something like that, 9 o'clock. You know, I was like, this. I should have just went with it, but you know, you get that bladder trap thing going on. Like, I know goddamn well if I go to sleep now, I'm gonna wake up in like 2 hours, have to piss, and then I'll probably be up till 4 in the morning. Cause you know, going back to bed for me after getting up to go to the bathroom includes walking on a leg where little invisible people are stabbing me in the knee, and then I have to self-catheterize. And then you know, it kind of wakes you up. The whole process kind of wakes you up. So it's not very often that I can get up, take a leak, and then go back to sleep. So you know, just drifting off naturally is a luxury I can't afford. So I was like, oh, I missed the episode, end of this episode again, and played it back, fell asleep on it again, and it's like the third time I was able to stay awake for it. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't worth it. But yeah, I have to like try to keep perspective and be like, you know, maybe somebody, I think Cindy was talking about medical marijuana. Maybe there's some kind of medical marijuana I can take that won't fuck up my heart, that will help me deal with having being in severe pain all the time. And you know, the only thing on this that's really like on the list for CRPS is opiates, and I ain't fucking with opiates, man. Benzos done ruined my life. Or I was talking to another fella. I don't know his name, but he was talking about like he doesn't know like the effect that benzos has had on his medical conditions. And I'm like, I don't know either, because a whole bunch of shit happened beside the benzo thing. What the benzo thing does is it becomes part of the way your nervous system works. It like attaches yourself to your neurological processes, and it becomes more or less interwoven with them, and like all throughout your body. It's not just a brain thing. Most your You have the most GABA receptor type nerve deals going on in your guts, more so than even in your brain. So it's like a body wide thing. So it's not like it's not just a brain thing. The dependence. But yeah, I was showing this other video, or I was like, you know, I gave him a link to another video, and the video's from 2013. And I looked like a different person, man, because that's when that video I was I'm not exactly sure what was going on in my life, but the purpose of making the video was just like somebody was giving me some shit on the internet. And I wanted to tell them like what CRPS was. So the video is from 2013, and I'm all skinny. I mean, I'm like 40 pounds at least heavier now. I have all my teeth but one. This is not the case anymore. I have all my teeth but one. I'm all skinny. I can walk without a cane. And yeah, it's not a very good video, but the dude in it is in a lot better shape than I am in now. So um, somewhere along the line, everything went to hell, but it wasn't just the benzo thing. It was a lot of other stuff going on there too. My parents' death, family difficulties, the unrelenting poverty. Um, that was just a minor thing, but because I was used to that. But it's a lot easier to have money. I had like a ramen noodles phase here, where like I ran out of money, and I was living on $753 from the government and paying 500 something to live here, which is $425 in rent, and then you have to pay for internet, and then you have to pay for electric. So I got around $200 to live on a month as far as clothes, entertainment, household items, cleaning supplies, and food. And that means ramen noodles. That means you're eating a lot of noodles. So, you're eating a lot of rice. You don't have any money. So I had like that poverty thing going on. I had poverty, family troubles, then the new benzo dependence. I had my parents both dying the same year. My family got to be like more difficult. The more like I started needing more help, the more difficult they became. And then like I was thinking about that last night. It's like that's like a devastating thing when you think people have your back and then they don't, you know. And you realize like that whole time uh, when you were like looking out for them and worrying about them and all that stuff, you should have really been doing something else. You should have really been looking after yourself, because when it comes time where you need that help and you don't get it back, that just kind of like shatters your whole worldview. Better look at this in case it's the landlord. Sorry. Get up. Oh, shit. I gotta get this. It's Coleman. The people with the psychiatric nurse thing. I just gotta check out and see if I missed an appointment or thing. Something, or see what it's about. I'll be back annoying you here in about 2 seconds. Work, fucker. That's a reminder for an appointment. Is today the 25th? It says the 25th. I don't know what the fuck day it is, but it's at 1 o'clock. Just press yes. Okay. It's okay, yes. It says text. Oh, text, yes. You see, I come from the rotary phone age. I'm an old bastard. So, I mean, some of this new technology, like shopping on the internet, of course, is awesome. Communicating with strangers like you on the internet is cool too. Some of the stuff I could give two fucks about. But she ain't doing nothing for me anyway, man. I haven't been bothering her either though. But she's supposed to like try to help me find housing. She's my case manager. She actually probably saved my ass, so I shouldn't talk bad about her, because she's the one that the psychiatric nurse went to and started asking questions about, and she's like explained to the person that was wanting the cops to come in here and sort through my Rice Krispies. She was explaining like, look, that's just him. He's just a different kind of cat. He's got a disease. He's in severe pain every day. When he just says shit like that. So she kind of called the dogs off. so I shouldn't really say nothing bad about her. Or yeah, I would have got a surprise visit because I imagine they don't announce raiding your house like, yeah, we're gonna be over tomorrow. Is 12:30 good for you for when we come in your house and like cut up your furniture and look for drugs and guns? Don't think it works like that. So they would have took all my shit, and that would have been very uncool. So, but she's not really, I don't know what the hell she's got going on, but I'm gonna just live here. I mean, it's not that bad living here now that Stampy's either dead or gone. I threw away her wind chimes yesterday because I had the aid worker take them down, and she laid them on a chair on the porch. I'm like, nobody's putting these back up, and I went outside and took them off his chair on the porch and threw them in the garbage. It's like nobody's putting these wind chimes back up. She had like wind chimes and another thing with like a frog on it that was swirled in the wind, but it didn't make any noise. But the wind chimes thing, so you're not making enough fucking noise stomping around up there. You got to put wind chimes right outside my window. So like if I'm sitting there, I got to hear wind chimes. If I'm watching like a movie and I got the windows open, say in the summertime, and it's breezy outside, I'm hearing wind chimes all the time. It's like fucking rude in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I threw them bad boys out. But I figure why not live here? It's like I'm paying efficiency apartment prices to live here. I got, a lot. I got extra money here that I'm not going to have elsewhere. So I still want to move out of here and get in a different situation because this is where my life went to hell. I got a lot of bad memories here, and I don't want nobody living over top of me. But I'm only paying $425 a month in rent plus electric, and that's it. So my electric bill is like $20 to $40. So in bills and rent, I'm actually paying less than $500. Can't beat that. You're not going to beat that anywhere unless you live in a box. Unless you live in an efficiency apartment, you might not even get an efficiency apartment for that. And so I got a good thing going on here. The landlord don't want to fuck with me because he's been keeping my rent at $425 ever since I've been living here. That apartment above me is shittier than this apartment, and he wants $500 for that one, but I'm still at $425. And that's why he's suspicious of me renting that place out and keeping it empty. Is we got that bad history. That's why he's like, I can't understand why you'd want to do that. I'm like, just because you're thinking of it from your point of view, and like, how can Steve screw me by doing this? You're not thinking about it from my point of view, which is I get quiet and no water. The threat of water coming through your ceiling at any time and ruining your shit, and then you have to call him, have a plumber come in your bedroom, your most intimate of areas, and rip up the whole fucking ceiling. And they're laying plastic on your bed, and then not to mention what water's like coming through a ceiling. It don't come through clean. It looks like brackish, nasty smelling stuff, even if it doesn't come from a toilet. So you got the threat of that. You got the noise factor. You got the drugs. You don't know who you're gonna get. Like, if this guy takes this apartment upstairs, he could be another meth guy. And he could be a drunk, pain in the ass, loud motherfucker. He could be like Stampy. I was telling the aid worker, Stampy had 7 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment. 7 people. Because she just had what she actually called them homeless herself. When I talked to her about it, I didn't ask her how many people she had living up there. I knew there was a lot of people up there. I asked other people in the building and the neighbors. And it was like 7 people. Everybody said 7. So, I knew it was a lot of damn people, and I knew there was kids included. So there was, little Stampy, big Stampy, and 5 other people living up there. And the landlord found out about it. He don't like that because that's 5 people using 5 people's worth of water taking five, at least 5 showers a day. You know, you don't like, he's paying the water bill. You don't like that shit. So, yeah, I didn't narc on her for it, but they all got kicked out. I know that landlord found out about that. And he's like, you gotta get them people out of here, and kicked them out. But anyways, whatever thread I was going to tie that into, I don't remember. Point is, it's really cheap to live here, and it's really quiet right now living here. And you know, it's a fairly big apartment. It's just this room is small. It's a fairly big apartment for just one person. Um, the neighborhood's not all that bad. It's just who's gonna move in. Big money. Big. I shouldn't do that. I'm shaking dice. Big money. Big money. It's like taking a gamble. What kind of maniac he's gonna install above me? So I got like $1,200 in the house. I'm trying to get $1,500 together, and then I'll talk to him about it again, and I'll tell him, like, this guy here takes the apartment. Okay, because it's still a lot of money to me, 500 extra bucks a month. But if I get an asshole living up there, that's $500 well spent to not have him living up there. But then that also defeats the purpose of this being a cheap place to live, because then it's no longer a cheap place to live. So, anyways, I'm going to tell the landlord, if I get a dude living up there and he doesn't work out, I want the place, because I'm going to stay here for the summer and accumulate cash. The plans, man plans, God laughs. The plan, I gotta stop making that gesture, man. I mean, some sort of ingrained gesture. But anyways, the plan is for me to stay here, accumulate a bucket load of cash because it's cheap to live here, and before football season comes, that is the best time to sell cars. The Browns made all the right deals in the off season. They totally rated like the best defense in the league last year. I think the Rams, they rated their secondary, because the Rams, it's a money thing. The Rams went way over, paying people out the bread. So we got their we got like the best defensive back in the market right now, and we got this other guy that was also a starter for them and on a top rated defense. So it's gonna work. It's gonna build that hype up, and then come August and September, I'd be selling cards. And in the meantime, I have to worry about, I don't know, not not being suicidal and not falling and not getting worse physically. It's like that's like a future thing, like planning for the future. I'm sitting there planning for the future, and it's like, how am I going to get through today? You know, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if it's resiliency so much as like, I don't want to do this anymore. Frankly, like, I do not want to. I don't derive any particular pleasure out of life. I'm amused by it. Dull amusement is not a substitute for living. My life is very dull, and it's like, just can't do a whole lot. Can't do a whole lot of anything. So, and I need the knee op. I got like things like a knee operation to look with, dealing with the medical community, like dealing with all my physical issues. It's like those are not things to look forward to. Okay, not things to look forward to. And plus, I'm 53 years old, and it's an old 53. It's not a spry 53. Like, if you go back and look at me in 2013, you're like, that dude might be 35. Seriously. I got a hat on so you can't see the baldness. They're like, that dude might be 35. You look at me now, you're not seeing the 35-year-old. So, yeah, I got old age disease and pain and suffering and surgeries and all kinds. It's not a lot of shit to look forward to. I had enough of that. That's been my whole goddamn life, and that's why I stopped going to the doctor for a chunk of like 15 years, from the time I was like 21 to 23 years old till I was 36 and had that heart episode. And if I didn't have that heart episode, I still wouldn't be going to the doctor because I'm sorry, but yeah, I had too many bad experiences before I was 20 years old with doctors, man. I mean, I told all these stupid ass stories before, but I was actually intubated after surgery with the tube down my throat, with the tape on your face and shit, in intensive care. And I couldn't breathe because you got to breathe through your nose, and I wasn't breathing. They got that tube down your throat, and I was all congested and stuff, and there was blockage in there, and I'm all panicking. I feel like I'm drowning, and I'm like gesturing and shit, coming out of my morphine haze, and this bride comes over, and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, I got a tube down my throat, I can't talk. I'm like, she's like, you want to write something? I'm like, she gives me a clipboard, and I write, I can't breathe. And I hand it back to her, and she's like, we'll take that tube out in a minute. We have to make sure your blood gas levels are stabilized. I'm like, I de-intubated myself. She freaked the fuck out, man. She was like, what the hell are you doing, man? What's wrong with you? And I didn't say nothing, of course, because I don't want to just rip the tube out of my throat. And she's like, you're going to have one hell of a sore throat from what you did. I remember her saying that because that was the first surgery in a two-step procedure. And when I did it, I ripped the tape off my face and, ripped the tube out of my throat and threw it on the ground. When I did it, I didn't have a sore throat. 10 days later, after my second surgery, when they did it, I had the worst sore throat of my life. We talk about funny or ironic. I mean, just eating ice chips, man. It's like, oh, it hurts so bad. Yeah, you don't forget shit like that. You go through stuff like that before you're 20 years old. You're like, yeah, these doctors, people, they don't listen. I told the bitch I can't breathe, and she's like, oh, you'll breathe in a minute or two. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like I said, the patient is always wrong. That's why I named that fucking video that. There's a purpose to these stupid videos I make. There's an actual purpose to things that I say, believe it or not. Because I talk so damn much. But yeah, that actually happened. And a lot of people, like when I write on the internet, they're like, you're making that shit up. I was writing about my family and I was writing about my dad. And somebody's like, oh, another guy who thinks his dad is a tough guy or believes everything that his dad tells him, thinks I'm just making that shit up. And I'm like, look, you can believe whatever you want to. It's like, I don't believe my dad's a hero. It's like he was thinking I was hero worshiping my dad or something like that. It's like I didn't talk to the man for 13 years before he died. He was not my hero. I grew up in fear because of that man. But I was like telling stories about the shit that he did, and it was like it's just crazy shit. It's not like I admire him for him. I mean, I guess you could admire somebody for not being boring, but if you're talking about like somebody that cut somebody across the middle and their intestines fall out, that's not something particularly admirable, or like, that's like somebody that beat somebody up and put him in a hospital for swearing. And not swearing at him, swearing at a machine that wouldn't give him his Coca-Cola. It's like, that's not, it's just, crazy people are interesting. It's not hero worship, So it's like, no, I'm not making that shit up. I couldn't make that up. Like, getting a clipboard and writing down, I can't breathe and ripping a tube out of my throat after surgery. I can't make that shit up. That ain't embellishing a bit. I don't like embellishment. I don't like it. It's, you know, so it's just, I don't like dealing with the medical community because of shit like that, is because the fact that they never believed me about any damn thing I said is why I'm laying in this bed weighing 195 pounds with like 12 teeth with a disease that's torturing me to death. It's like because they don't believe what you tell them, and they know you don't. Like, even when it comes to whether you can breathe or not, she's like, we're just going to keep that tube in there for a little while longer until we get your blood gas levels, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that's what she said. Something about like your blood gases or your blood gas levels or something like that. Like, nope, this tube is coming out now. So, yeah. So, no, I do not want to go, like, make calls to doctors after going through all that shit. And, like, have this recent thing where you have somebody that's threatening to invade your house and root through all your shit for firearms and contraband. Like you're a damn criminal because you're honest and say that you don't want to live, that you think about killing yourself. It's like, okay, well, we're done being honest. So the next guy I talked to, I said, she just misinterpreted that stuff. Hear that train? But as far as videos and the video length and all that, I always figure like anybody can tune out at any time. Whatever. I don't care. Every video I watch, it's people are like, subscribe. It's like, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you prescribe. I do care if you prescribe. Uh, but I don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you dislike me. I don't care if you rate. One thing I do not like is people have been scamming on my videos, like, putting like scammer commercial type things. So I make sure to cut all them out. I don't like that. So, yeah. But as far as anything else, I don't care. You know, I just honestly don't. I look at the views and I'm like, I look at the subscriptions and stuff because it's there. You see it. Like when I check this video to see when's the last time I made a video so I don't repeat it. Anything I say in it that already happened that was recent. So I'm like, oh, 30 people watched it. I have no feelings about it one way or another. I don't care. Why would I care? I'm not on here to make money. If I'm on here to make money, like most people, I would care. I don't need money unless, I can get a subscription. I can get enough money or raise enough money to buy me a new leg. I don't think that could happen. I don't think, yeah, if I could get like a huge following and like donate to Steve's leg. He can't find an orthopedist. This poor motherfucker can't walk. And I ain't doing that, man. I didn't even ask my best friend for like to borrow, let alone give, to borrow $2,000 to save these two teeth up here. And that's somebody that would have done it, but I didn't never even occurred to me to do that. So no, I'm not going to be on here like Jerry's kids telethon. Yeah, that would be like the only thing I could think of would be a purpose for me, like getting a lot of people to watch my videos is to like make money so I could have a new leg. So I could like have enough money in the bank to where the doctor would be like, we like this guy. Oh, you have CRPS and a heart condition? Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. But now it matters, seems to matter a lot. So that's another reason why I don't want to deal with the medical community is because they don't like me because I'm too sick. It's like, you're too sick and you're poor and you don't have the best insurance in the world, so we don't like you. Yeah. So we don't want you as a patient because, frankly, they don't want to kill me and risk malpractice suits and losing money because they like, oh, this guy's got fragile health. I talked to people about operating on my knee before, and they're like, oh, that's a tricky surgery. You're dealing with a really compressed area in there with a lot of important nerves and blood vessels. It's a tricky surgery. It's like, we really don't. That was a Tri-County Orthopedics guy. He was like, we really don't like to do that kind of a surgery. Plus, there's a high recurrence rate on Baker cysts. So, in other words, he's like, you're too fucked up, and chances are it'll just come back anyway. But there's also a chance that we could fuck your leg up, or, since you got the bad heart thing, something could happen after the surgery that kills you, and we would be responsible for it. And we really don't know about this CRPS thing and how that would affect this whole surgery thing. So basically, we don't like you because you're too sick, and we don't want to treat you. It's not a good feeling, you know. It's like, yeah, it's like the medical community put me in this boat, not on purpose, but it's the way it happened. They put me in this boat and they pushed me out there, and they won't throw me a line. They pushed me out to sea, and they're in this big, like, this big ocean cruiser boat, and I'm out there in a life raft, and I'm like, hey, little help, little help. And they're like, well, you know what? If we throw this hook out there to them, it'll probably sink his raft, and it'll make us look bad. So we don't want to, And look at him out there in that raft. He ain't had water or food for like 5 days. He's probably gonna die anyway. So why waste a good rope? You know? So no, I'm not in a hurry to reconnect with the medical community. My last doctor was a rapist and raped an 11-year-old girl, so that was my last primary caregiver. I mean, no, it's not funny that he did that shit, and it's not funny that he's probably thinking about little girls while he should be trying to help me out, but it's just from an outside emotionalist perspective, it's kind of par for the course, as far as like if I went through and I picked out, like, I had one doctor that was late for one of my appointments. The doctor was late for my appointment by about 45 minutes because he was on his lunch break fucking another guy's wife. And then that guy found out that this doctor was fucking his wife and waited for my cardiologist in the parking lot and emptied a revolver in him and killed him, and then sat in the car and killed himself. So I had a cardiologist that was a sexaholic and fucking other people's wives until it caught up with him, and was actually late for appointments because of it. He was late for my appointment. I almost walked out of there, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what they say to me. This is bullshit. And then, like, right before I was going to walk out of the appointment, they said, we can't contact Dr. Cease. We don't know where he is, but you can see the cardiac nurse if you want to. So I'm like, okay. And then I stayed and saw the nurse. And then after the appointment, I passed him in the hallway, and he was eating Funyuns, as the story goes. And I shook his hand. And I was like, I shook his hand? Ugh. Where was that hand when he should have been, like, seeing me on the appointment? What was he doing with that hand? But, yeah, I mean, it's just funny in a sick way that, I got my last doctor's in jail and I don't have a doctor yet. And then, like, I'm telling a psychiatric nurse that I had a doctor, but he's a rapist and he's in jail. And she's like, well, you can get another doctor. And I'm like, I tried to get another doctor, but the physician's assistant injured my knee and made it worse. And then she just not hearing what I'm saying, and she's like, well, there's a lot of people out there that are in worse shape than you, and they get help and they get doctors. And I'm like, you don't even know what CRPS is or what it does. And it's like, I'm looking in the video, I'm actually looking at you all like while she's rambling on about how I could be much worse. You can always be much worse. That's stupid. You know, I could be that guy in My Left Foot that could only like move his toes or some shit. Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Foot. Or I could be Stephen Hawking, all twisted up in a chair talking through a machine. Of course I could be worse. That's not the fucking point. The fucking point is I was anyway putting out the effort, and then like I just got tired of trying and trying and trying and being Sisyphus, rolling that ball up the hill and having it fall back down. After a while, you just end up sitting on the rock at the bottom of the hill and looking at the top of the hill and like, that is just too high. You know, and you just don't feel like putting out the effort anymore. But then you get backed into a corner where you don't have any choice in the matter because, you know, of pain and the physical condition that you're in. And you don't have any choice in the matter. But it's like, I tried like a bastard to do stuff for my knee. I went to other cities to do stuff for my knee. I talked to the rapist guy for years about what to do about my knee. The dude shot me up with cortisone and gave me oral steroids for it and shit, like years ago. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, if you go to like every local orthopedist in your area and you get nothing done, what are you supposed to do? Now, I got an envelope out there, like I said, where it's got every orthopedist in the state that my insurance covers. I haven't opened it. Like I said, I got this whole inertia thing going on. It's been going on for months, where I'm not, at least since last November, where I'm just like not motivated to do anything as far as like seeing doctors or dentists or, you know, eye people or whatever. Just, I'm not motivated. There's gonna have to be some kind of push in there, unfortunately, and that'll probably be running out of Neurontin one night and banging my head against the wall or beating myself up in the face just to distract myself from the pain. Because that thought did go through my head last night. Like, what if I fucking hit myself in the face like a few times? It's like my cousin Scott used to have this theory that he's like, oh, your arm hurts? We used to do this shit. We were kids, you know, they're crazy kids. And he's like, oh, your arm hurts? I can help you with that. Bam! And he punched you in the leg. And he's like, you're not thinking about your arm now, are you? I was like, God damn, man. And my crazy cousins. But anyways, yeah, they're the people that I had that 12. I think it was a 10 foot. It was at least 10 foot python that I was holding, and it was like wrapped around the back of my neck, and it was squeezing my neck like this. It had me in a rear naked choke, but it wasn't wrapped all the way around my neck. But you know, they were like taking a picture, and they knew it was choking me, but they were like, the light's bad, like move over there. And I'm like, take the goddamn picture, the thing's choking me. And they're like, no, move in front of that car right there. It's like, I think it was a Firebird. It's like, move in front of the Firebird. It'll be a better picture. You know, and they're just like holding the laughter in while the snake's choking me. And then they got a picture of me. Well, I don't have it, but they got it. But they got a picture of me with that snake around my neck, holding it like this. I'm like 23 years old. And my face is just bright red because it's cutting off the blood supply to my brain. I'm like, you know, get this fucking thing off of me. I don't remember if I pried it off myself or if they pried it off me or whatever, but it had the middle of it was looped around my neck and just squeezing me. I got the head here and I got the tail here, you know, showing how big it is and stuff. But yeah, those guys were crazy. Like I said, man, I complained like about my arm hurting or something like that. He said, I can fix that. Wham! Punched me in the leg. So that's why it's probably thinking about. Actually, crazy shit will run through your head when you're in that much pain. And so I was like, man, what happens if I just punch myself in the face like 3 or 4 times? You know, you get all these impulses, like you get these like fantasies about grabbing your head and smashing your own head. killing yourself that way. I mean, we're talking about like some bad fucking pain. And it's not too much fun right now. But I like talking and being a goof and entertaining people. And, you know, but it's the truth. All kind of sick things will run through your head when you're in that screaming, hideous pain. Like, what would make this stop? What if I got up and started like bashing my head into the wall? Would that knock me unconscious? So I eventually went to sleep, but it wasn't easy last night. I just lisped. That's another thing that's, one of the few things I was ever good at was talking and using words, and now I don't have any teeth, which makes pronouncing certain words difficult and has affected my elocution and eloquence. See that loc part comes from a root, L-O-Q something or another, that means to speak, and is Latin. I used to study, when I was wanting to be a writer, I used to study language, or the English language. It's the only language I know, so yeah. I used to study like roots to words, and where they come from, how they're related. A good one is horripilation. I always like that, because you got horror, everybody knows what that is, and you got the root for the palation part is depilatory. You women know that depilatory removes hair. D, like not, like that's the removal part, and then the PIL part is hair. So you got depilatory, that's a product that removes hair. So you got horripilation, depilatory, horripilation. Horripilation actually just means goosebumps. You get scared, that's the horror part, and your hair stands up on end, you get those bumps. And that's the palation part. It's a reference to the way your hair stands up. So, me being an odd cat, I like shit like that. That's one of my favorite examples of studying the language and stuff. But that's when I wanted to be a writer. I wrote a couple of novels and shit. And whatever. I was still like, I need like an editor. But yeah, I just had to put, the benzo thing happened and my health got worse, and I just put all that stuff by the wayside. Um, I thought, like, 2018, when I went into the psychiatric unit voluntarily, I had a copy of my 3-part novel, and I gave it to somebody, just in case. You go in the hospital, you never know what's going to happen. Just in case, like, things went bad for me, I'm like, here you go. Somebody can have it. It's just a hard copy, though. But yeah, people are dicks, though. Like, not that person necessarily, but this other person, like, said they would read one of the novels I wrote, and he never gave it back. It's like, dude, that is like a huge part of my life, and it's just floating out there in space, and you don't give it back. You don't give my manuscript back to me, and you took it to Arizona with you? That's fucking rude, man. It's like somebody could find that and work with it and publish it and make money off of my suffering. It's like, so that's family for you. Just more, what's family for? Family will invent ways to create misery for you. Like I just don't understand why somebody wouldn't think of that. Like, oh, this is probably important to him. He's spent like a year of his life, and it has like his life experiences in it and whatnot. Like, yeah, just throw it in a box with the rest of my shit and take it to Arizona. I think that's what he told me. He could be lying to me. It could be lost somewhere in Ohio here. But, he used to be like a meth head. I remember I was talking to him about shit, and there was like a documentary about meth, because we were flipping through the channels at the house over there. And I'm like, dude, you should not be watching this, because he was clean at the time. And he was like, nah, it's all right. And then he was watching. He's like, yeah. Turned the channel off. It was making his addiction come back. He was watching, because they had actually people lighting up and whatnot in this documentary thing. Um, so, anyways, yeah, he was a meth head, and then like I don't remember when's the last time I saw him, but we kind of like are similar people in a way, like at least intellectually, and so we kind of like had a mini bond. Um, I think he's like 38 or something like that. He's younger than me, but I spent time with him when he was young, and then knew him when he was growing up, and hung out together. We'd hang out together from time to time or talk on the phone. But anyways, the last time I saw him, he looked like the Wolf Man. He had like a big old beard on him and shit. And he admitted to like relapsing because he had cleaned up from meth, and then like his wife or girlfriend, he was like cuckolded. In other words, like he had to live in a house while somebody else was fucking his woman. So I don't know if they were supposed to be separated and he had no place else to go. I don't know if it was his wife. I know he was married. I know he got a boatload of kids. He was like super fertile. At least a half a dozen kids that were like born into poverty and misery. It's like whatever. But he loves his kids. Actually, once he cleaned up, he's actually pretty attentive father. But then there's the time that he wasn't clean. But anyways, so he's in a situation where he's living with like either his wife or ex-wife in the same house with a guy that's banging, his significant other. So he's cuckolded in this house. It gets to him. He finally learned how to drive, in his 30s, because he was also born like me into a situation where not a lot of parental attention. So let's just leave it at that. So this this dude just couldn't take it anymore. He's delivering pizzas for a living, going home at night, listening to somebody else bang his wife, basically. So he relapsed, and he said it was pretty cool to finally have the freedom to drive himself where he wanted to. I know he was in his 30s when he learned to drive. I don't remember how. This is like maybe it was. I remember talking to him about having a Xanax problem, and then like saying, "I got to go home to look at my hands." He's like, "Dude, that's not good." I'm like, "No shit," because he is an addict. I'm dependent. I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go home and get a dose." So it couldn't. The last time I talked to him about and learned this shit about his life was less than 6 years ago. And anyways, not sure what the point of all that is, but I never know. You know, especially when I'm like this, and it's lucky I can be coherent at all in this degree of pain. It's like I'm actually a pretty bright guy when I'm not suffering in horrible, miserable pain. It's like actually I can say that in all modesty, pretty bright guy. Um, Never good mechanically, but yeah, yeah, I can't even keep. I keep when I talk, I kind of like keep track of like the thread of things, and I take and go over here and like add this little side dish to the main course. But I always go back to the main course or the main theme. But that is not the case today. I usually can keep track of where I'm headed, even if I'm taking little stops for ice cream over here. Or, like, let's stop in that quaint little shop over there and go antiquing for a little while. Start antiquing and digging up some old memories. And I wanted to get this bedroom cleaned up. That's why I was working. I wanted to like pre-clean it for the cleaning lady. So, in other words, I want to get all my shit where I want my shit to be, and then she can like do whatever. She can get behind the bed. Stuff that's hard for me because I got to get like on all fours, and there's like a space behind the bed here, and I want to tip this headboard up on end and get rid of that cat litter and that cat shit that's behind the bed because I didn't think I'd be living here. So when the cat shit behind the bed, I can't get back there. I got no way to help me, so I just threw litter. I threw like pounds of litter back there and threw litter over top of the shit. So, if I'm going to be living here, I've been sleeping next to cat shit for like a year at least. Really. I mean, it's right there with a pile of litter on top of it. Because there's just, you got this big ass headboard, right? I got this bad leg. This thing weighs a lot. What I would have to do to get back there. Well, a cat's tiny. He can go back there and take a really nasty foul shit. And that was done on camera in the video, by the way, where I'm like, the cat's going back there. Wait a minute. I'm like, oh my God. And I smell it. That's actually a part of a video, if I remember correctly. But to clean it, I have to move everything off of here, tip this up on end, slide it over to there, then get back there somehow with a broom and a dustpan because the sweeper's not going to fit back there. I don't have like the sweeper attachments to get rid of that litter and stuff. So that's why maybe I was in such pain last night and this morning is I was trying to get this place like how I want it before I have her come in here because you naturally have to rearrange stuff. I got like cards laying out in the open that need like stashed and boxes of cards that need stashed. So I was trying to clean off the shelves in there and I was doing all this crap. So even though I'm not trying to like hook up with the medical community and get my medical needs met, it's not really, it's more about, it's not about like not trying in general. In other words, it's like I'm still trying to lift weights and exercise and shit. I don't know what happened to my neck, but I haven't been able to lift weights because my neck is not good. I just like don't want to aggravate that. I don't know when this is going to go away, but as far as walking, I've been moving around and walking more, and I'm putting out effort because it's starting to get nice out, and I would like to get outside. That would be cool. Being a shut-in is not good. I have actually no right at all to be sane. I'm not sure if I am sane, but I have no right at all to be sane because the situation I'm in is untenable. It's not a reasonable situation. It's a shining situation. It's better now that Stampy is gone, but I was like, I envied Jack Torrance in the Overlook Hotel because he had a lot of goddamn space. I'm just shut in this little tiny room while Stampy's doing her thing. And I can't go outside because I can't risk falling on concrete and I can't walk right. And like, I'll make a point of saying this now, so I'll do it. I'll show you in the next video. My legs, it will be parental discretion advised, but I'll show you like what my legs are like now, what it looks like now for me to walk and stuff. So I'm assuming the people that actually listen to me believe what I'm telling them. I don't actually have to show them cat shit behind the bed or show them me walking, but it might be of interest to people. Yeah, everybody wants their life to mean something. I don't. That's the thing. Is like, my life has been so horrendous and so horrible. It's like It's one of the reasons why I don't want. I want to blow my brains out, but I don't want to blow my brains out because I went through all this shit. There has to be some goddamn reason for it or some purpose to it, and it's like. But at the same time, my life doesn't make any sense right now as far as a continued project. It's like if this was a project and you were building something, this is the part where you're like, scrap it and you burn the blueprint and throw it away. You know, this is like, but at the same time, I would like my life to have some kind of meaning to it, and figure out what that is. And the only meaning that I can put to it is to hang around long enough for other people to derive something out of my existence, because I ain't getting shit out of it, man. I ain't getting shit out of living. So it's, it's not fun for me, but why not? So if like showing my legs on the internet or talking on the internet about ripping tubes out of my throat or whatever is useful to like two or three people, that lends some sort of meaning instead of just like meaningless suffering. There's nothing worse in the world than pointless, unnecessary, meaningless suffering. That's why, like, talking to my brother would drive me crazy, because a lot of his suffering he could do something about, but he doesn't do anything about it. Whereas I try to do stuff about my suffering, it just don't work out. So that's why I really have a hard time listening to him sometimes. It's like, oh, I can't sleep, but you won't even take melatonin to help you sleep. Like I offered you melatonin, your brain produces it anyway, and you're going to complain to me about insomnia when I have, the highest rated chronic pain disease as far as pain level. You're going to complain to me about that shit, you know. But, I talk to him. It's kind of frustrating. I don't like being interrupted. That's probably why I like talking on here, because y'all can't interrupt me. I can talk for hours. I don't like being interrupted, but I'm actually you never talk to me, of course, but I'm actually a generous conversationalist, and I wait for people to finish what they're talking about, and people do not wait for me to finish saying what I'm saying, because you talk to somebody and it triggers an idea in your mind. Now, what you do is you wait for them to finish talking, and then you say, well, this came to mind, and then you say your idea. But when I talk to my brother, I'll be saying something will pop in his mind, and he will just say it and interrupt me and talk over me, because he just had this thought that I triggered from my talking. It's like, no, that's bad conversation technique. That's not a conversation. Conversation, one person talks, the other person waits for them to finish, then they get their turn to talk. But it's like my sister and my brother both like that. And, I try to be nice about it, but at some point I'm always like, if you'll let me finish. Another fun thing is, like, all you want to do is throw in like a 5-word sentence that's like a joke, or like a quip or something like that, right? So he says something, and I got something funny to say, but I can't say it because it'll interrupt him. And then by the time he's done talking, because he will talk so long and I won't interrupt him, it's like, well, sometimes I'll say this when I'm talking to him. Well, like about 5 minutes ago, this would have been funny. Because, comedy is a timing thing, It's like quick-witted, like, boom type of things. But he doesn't afford me that courtesy, drive me crazy. Or like what my sister would do that would drive me fucking crazy when I would talk to her, is she would anticipate what I was saying and be wrong. So she's like, yeah, you mean that blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, that's not what I was going to say at all. If you would let me say what I was going to say instead of interrupting me, then maybe you would actually know what I was talking about. It's like, fuck, goddamn. And it's like, at some point, them old phones with the cord and shit, at some point, you check your phone to see if you had, I was pretty strong at the time, so you check your phone to see if you have any, like, impressions from your finger squeezing it. You're squeezing it, talking to them. It's fucking crazy, goddamn fucking family. Because I did shit, I'm not exaggerating about my strength, because I had like crazy upper body strength when I was younger, and it didn't look like I had it. But the weightlifting expression is clean and jerk, which I always thought was funny. Everybody's like, Sounds dirty. But I moved a recliner and walked it upstairs by clean and jerking a recliner by the handles, setting it on top of my head like an African woman, and walking upstairs and bringing it into my house and taking it off of my head and throwing a recliner down on the floor. So yeah, I used to like play jokes on people because I was real skinny and challenge somebody to arm wrestling and just stand there like this and not move. Stand there like this and just not move. And they would catch on to what I was doing and get pissed off. It's like the dude weighed 200 pounds, I weighed 150 because I didn't have any weight on my legs, so my upper body was like crazy strong. I carried like a stump that I kept for a footstool on my shoulder and walked for like 6 blocks with it on my shoulder, this big fucking stump. Like when I was young and I don't know, 23 to 25 years old, something like that. I had a job with my dad where I was lifting concrete sacks. No, what do you call that? Not cement. Concrete's what you make with the cement. So the cement, bundles I would be carrying on my shoulders and hucking them around like nothing. They weigh like 80 to 100 pounds. And I was keeping up with people who didn't have CRPS. And I punched through a door. I got a lot of good um, examples of the strength that I had. That's not just bragging. Why would I brag about that now? It doesn't make me feel good now. It makes me feel like my life sucks even worse because why is my arm hurting? When I straighten it out, I need to move around more, get more exercise. Now, I used to work out with 40-pound plus weights. Now I'm working with 10-pound weights. It's ridiculous. I'm sore for no reason. So, yeah, but I don't know. When you're talking to somebody and they're rude like that, and you don't want to be rude back because you actually want to have a conversation with them, and you actually sort of like them and their family and stuff like that. It's like at some point you do have to say if you would let me finish, or you keep interrupting me. If you would stop interrupting me, or I did that to my sister. I was like, if you would stop interrupting me and telling me what I was going to say, you would actually hear what I was actually going to say. Oh my God, people are crazy. Either people are crazy or I'm crazy, one or the other. I don't know, or both. It could be both. It could be both. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I have no right to be as sane as I am right now. And, when you're in that kind of pain, you will have some crazy thoughts. I mean, that's some crazy thoughts I was having, like punching myself in the face or just squeezing my head and squashing it so I don't feel anything anymore. Those are crazy thoughts, but if you have the highest rated pain disease, according to the American Medical Association, you're going to have some crazy thoughts. As far as logic and reason and figuring things out, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, I think I do pretty good as far as that's concerned. I was explaining to my aide worker, like, about my landlord and uh, the stuff that he would do that was unreasonable, and figuring out the logic and sense of it, and from his point of view and from my point of view, and how he was accepting drug money, and how from his point of view he doesn't care where the money comes from, and how he was playing this game where he would be like, I would say, look, there's drugs getting sold out of your building, and he would be like, I really can't um, do anything about that because I don't have any proof, and that leaves me open to, that leaves me liable to being sued and all that shit. And it was just all a bunch of bullshit. And, early on, and when he bought the building, I thought he was a good landlord. It's just, no, he's a really good con man. Really good con man. So, Uh, for example, this guy over here in the wheelchair, he's a very smart dude, but he took the landlord's side over me. Meanwhile, I know something that he don't know. He's in a wheelchair. It's the landlord's responsibility to allow him access to the road. So he moved into this place. He could barely walk at all. I've seen him. He could barely move. So he's wheelchair bound, essentially. So he moved into this place. There was no wheelchair ramp. The landlord charged that guy $500 plus materials to build a ramp. To hire a company, he told this guy to hire a company to build a ramp out there. Well, the company was him and his dad, and they knocked that ramp out in a day. He didn't even know the ramp was getting built because he's back there, the ramp is out there, my apartment goes out there. So not only was it his responsibility to build that ramp, and the onus of the cost of it is on the landlord, he tells this guy, he makes the guy in the wheelchair pay the money for the ramp, lies to him about hiring a company for it, charges him $500 to do it when it's their job to do it anyway, and it only takes them a day to build it. And this guy is on the landlord's side and against me. That's how good a con man this landlord is. So it took me a while to catch on. And also, I was ignorant. I did not know that the landlords have all the power, because I've only rented from like 3 or 4 people. So they have all the power. I've never had a landlord like this. They have all the power, and when it comes to criminal activity on their property, they're not responsible for it. They're not legally responsible for it. I thought he was responsible, or that he would care that, there was people coming here constantly buying crack. I thought, he might not want that going on in his building. He did not care that he was collecting drug money, that the money that he was getting had blood on it. He did not care, because there's a lot of violence that goes on behind the drug trade. So there's blood on that money. He don't care. But also, he did not tell me to call the police. He should have told me, you need to call the police. If I call the police, they get on to people. The people get kicked out. He's not getting his blood money anymore. He's got to find somebody else to give him money. He don't want to disrupt the flow of the drug trade because it's going to affect his money. This is not a good person. To top it all off, he's one of them sanctimonious, whitewashed wall motherfuckers that pretend like they're a good Christian, go to church, and don't swear. The dude don't swear. He always talks politely. And that just makes it even worse. He's a whitewashed wall, a sepulcher, where inside is full of all uncleanness and men's bones. It's Bible shit. I don't remember the verse. Okay? I don't remember it that well. I'm not doing good this morning. But yeah, he's a whitewashed wall. Yeah. I'll maybe mark down the verse that comes from, but it's outwardly looks good. Inside is all manner of uncleanness and dead men's bones. I'll have to look up the Bible verse to, I like the Bible, so just look up the Bible verse and put it down there in the description for y'all to read. But this has got to be bordering on an hour and a half now. So I should go. Yeah, I didn't take any volume this morning, but, volume's really not my issue now. I think I could get off of that shit pretty easy if I could walk. I think, like I said before, if I can walk, I think I'm already benzo free. But I'm trapped in this house all the time, and that will make you nervous and itchy. And, all the medical conditions I got. That's another thing that was driving me crazy last night is like, I'm just tired of this always waiting for my heart to fuck up shit. Because my heart was fucking up last night. And it's like, I'd like to beat my heart to the punch, man. Just, because that's another thing that it's bad enough to sit around there in chronic pain and misery all the damn time. And, the diapers and catheters and all this old people shit when you're not really old. That's bad enough. But then you got the threat of your heart, like, at any time fucking up, maybe killing you, but I wouldn't care if it killed me. Uh, I wouldn't enjoy the process to get to the point where I get to the big sleep. The process of death is the dying part. The death, who cares? The dying part, not a lot of fun, I'm imagining. My dad had a heart attack in the front yard. My brother said it wasn't a pretty sight. And I saw that guy have a heart attack earlier in the video I told you. And he's like purple and red and shit. So anyways, I'm thinking that's not a fun experience. But at any time, like I'm sitting here like waiting, and then I have to go to the hospital and go through all this freaking torture and stuff, and my life is not fun when I'm not in the hospital going through all this freaking torture and stuff. So like, and then I'm telling people that are like in the mental health profession that yeah, life's not a lot of fun for me. So I think about suicide every day, and they're like, "Oh my God, we can't let that happen." It's like, that's, that's why I raised that question. Is your life your own? Like, do I literally have to stay around and suffer because other people want me to suffer? Then I also got that fear thing of like being trapped. Like I no longer have the choice. That's what freaked me out about like the cops coming in here and taking my shit. It's because that takes away my choice. Then I have to resort to other means to leave this mortal coil if it becomes necessary. So, that's just like taking more power away from me when I'm powerless enough. So, that is a question. Like, why don't you have a right to do that? Why is that not a logical decision? And it's something that Dr. Kevorkian brought up, in the 80s. Like, yeah, this person got ALS, can't get out of bed, and it's laying in a pool of shit all day. Like, maybe they'd be better off dead. You know, I don't want to be in that situation. Like, my mom didn't have any choice. She went beyond having that choice, and she had to live like that for years, where she was just in a vegetative state, and she was fucking miserable. And I'm not letting myself get there. It's like while I still have the power, I'm leaving. Fuck that. I saw it firsthand. I saw it close up. So, ain't having it. As far as the pain levels, getting them reduced so things don't look quite so bad. I don't know what to do about that. Like, the only thing I could do for pain was like physical activity. That's why I was so damn strong, like I was talking about earlier, is because I was crazy active outdoorsman dude. I was somebody that would like ride a bike 12 miles, fish for 2 hours standing up, and then ride a bike home 12 miles, and I wouldn't be sore. I'd be tired and like, oh, that was good, but I'm next day up and around fine. I'd be tired for that day because you're not talking about riding on flat ground. You're talking about pumping up hills and shit, pedaling a bicycle, and then walking around the pond casting a fish and learning I can't fucking move my arm without it hurting. So that's the only thing I can do for this disease is a lot of physical activity, and that's why this knee is like a death knell for me. Is because that means increased pain if I'm not moving around. And then like I'm in a situation now where I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I move around, it's going to aggravate my pain. If I don't move around, it's going to aggravate my pain. I'm going to get like stiffness, soreness, and I'm going to get weaker. So like sometimes laying around, I can have some moments where I'm not in that much pain, but I have to pay for them. But if I move around and do shit, now because of the way the knee is, it's not like it used to be. Like in the 90s, I would start to feel pain. I would just put on a coat, put on some shoes, and walk, and like walk for miles. That was my version of taking some codeine or a Percocet. It's like they actually have a name for it, bombardment. They call that bombardment. It's like that's one of the things that they do for CRPS is like super intensive physical therapy. Of course, my insurance ain't gonna cover that, so I had to do that shit myself. But now that I got busted up knee, can't do it, so I'm trapped. So I'm trapped in this untenable situation. This, yeah, this prison, and so naturally, I'm going to have bad thoughts and not be motivated because I don't. Any way out of this is gonna be like crawling over broken glass. And there's nothing waiting for me on the other side of the broken glass but old age. So, yeah, so hopefully I've cheered you up and all. That was my purpose getting on here, of course. Yeah. So I got a really good, like, sob story and shit, but I ain't gonna use it to raise money, and I don't get enough people on here to raise money, and I'm honest, and I rub people the wrong way. I'm really good at that. So, uh, once you get to know me, you're like, oh, he's okay, but, you know, I usually don't get I usually don't get past the early stages of talking to people. They're like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?" Yeah, I can play nice for a while, but that weirdness and yeah, that bluntness is gonna come out. I have to play nice, like when you saw me talking on the phone to the psychiatric nurse. But you saw how I was. I was like, just give me a straight answer. It's like, you know, just trying to get to the fucking point. I'm trying. Yeah, that's because I had to play nice. I don't. Usually, I'm just like cut to the chase type of dude. I don't. I don't holds with no pleasantries. It doesn't mean I'm not polite and nice, but I'm like, okay, what's this about? Let's get this over with. Whatever it is we're doing here. It's yeah. I mean, I talk for hours, maybe for my own amusement and hopefully for yours, but in real life, I don't operate that way. It's like, why are we here? What are we here to do? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, we'll do that. Or like, I told that Dr. Labavidi guy, like, I'm leaving. It's like, you can't keep me here. Son, you have a bad heart. A man cannot run from his own heart. It's like, watch me. Yeah, he couldn't believe that shit. He's like, this guy's out of his goddamn mind. He's gonna leave a hospital. He's in arrhythmia, and his pulse is like 150, and he's just gonna walk out of here. Like this guy is crazy. It's like I get a lot of that. Um, I don't get to scare people anymore, but I used to like to scare people, like the Nichols incident mentioned on here before, where I went back through that drive-through with the Nichols. I'm not gonna run through old stories though; they're all on here. But yeah, I scared the hell out of that guy. Kevin, get this guy out of here! And they bring in this young dude. He takes one look at me, and he actually steps behind the person that called for help, and is like, "Can I help you, sir?" It's like, "Yeah, you know it, bitch. You know what's up." Oh God, why is that a satisfying feeling? I don't know. Staring people down and just looking, just watching them wilt like an old flower, man. I'm sorry, but I used to enjoy that. Fighting is stupid, but letting people know, like I will throw down and I will eat your liver. That's just a fucking different type of deal. But the actual fighting stuff is stupid. But letting people know, like you ain't walking on me. You ain't telling me what to do. That's very satisfying on a physical type of level when I could pull that off. Plus, knowing that I had like a severe disease and legs that weren't as good as regular people, and being able to back them down out of sheer force of will and meanness and craziness, and let them know, like, I will skip rope with your goddamn intestines just by looking at them. I actually had the guy that was managing the building before this landlord was giving me shit at the front door, and I looked at him with the uh, intestine skip rope look. And he actually took a step back, like I hit him or something. Like he could see murder in my eyes, and he was like, he took a step back and he made some excuse and he got the fuck out of there. And yeah, I used to enjoy that. But the actual violence is stupid, and you get police involved, people get hurt, and everything like that. But letting people know, like, look, man, you know, my dad had his that expression, son, you might get the whole sandwich, but I'm gonna get a bite. He used to say that shit all the time. He's like, you gotta let people know. Well, I guess he did teach me something useful. Gotta let people know, like, man, yeah, if you fight with me, it ain't gonna be like Marcus of Queensberry rules, man. It's gonna be a you or me type of situation, and I'm gonna take a piece of you with me. It's like you might leave me laying in a heap of blood. It's been done before, but I will take a piece of you with me. But yeah, I miss that. And it's testosterone, manly type shit. Now I'm just like some cripple hobbling around in his house like a cockroach. Yeah. Ah, but at least I have memories of what it was like to be a man. But some people would say, like, oh, look at you, you're braving each day with all your disabilities and shit. You still manage to contribute to society in the most lame of ways by talking to people on the internet and entertaining them. I'd be like, yeah, this is great. Fucking love this, man. Oh, I love, thinking about punching myself in the face at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, can I knock myself out so I'm just not awake anymore? Can I just, like, can a person actually knock themselves out by punching them? I used to be able to take a punch pretty good to the head, so probably not enough like angle and force to it. Yeah, yeah, okay. Like, I'd rather be that other guy from like the 1990s, that stupid motherfucker that wasted his time doing a lot of stupid shit and didn't realize how good he had it because he had it worse than most people. But now this is a whole nother level of hell. I just had like a regular level of hell in the 90s. You know, I could like I said, I get sore, take a walk, then get tired. And now, the walk might take an hour. I might walk for an hour and then come back. I might be staggering by the time I got home, but now what do I got? Oh man. So there's no way to end something like this. I'm still in the fight. I'm still like, I think it's stupid, frankly. I think I should be dead, but I'm still here. So, I'm waiting for like, I don't know, the universe not to hate me and like for something to fall my way that's good. I mean, something has fallen my way that's good. Like I got an aid worker that actually cleans my house. That's cool. She's like, man, might be the only one at the agency, but I'm only gonna have her while her mom. She's taking care of like her nine. She's 68. She's taking care of her mom, who's 93, and she's like, her mom's in this situation. I didn't quite understand it, but she's like, she has to be like. I think what it is like she's either living at her mom's. I'll have to ask her about it. But the situation is, I'm only going to have her temporary due to her mom's health. I don't know what exactly that means, but she's not going to be my permanent aid worker. So she's like, I don't know how long that we're going to be a thing as far as like client and aid worker. So I should get the most out of her while I got her. But anyways, that's a good thing that happened where the universe smiled on me a little bit. Stampy's gone. No more wind chimes. That's a good thing. Still ain't got my $1,400. That's a bad thing. But I'm going to get $1,400 like everybody else. What other good things? What other positives? No, that's about it. That's about it. But that's a big deal. Not having somebody. If you're a shut-in and you have a brontosaurus living above you, when the brontosaurus dies, goes to a nursing home, or moves, that's a good thing. That's a big deal. So yeah, that's been a big deal. It's been beautifully quiet here, and I've made a point of enjoying every minute of it. Um, so as far as anything else positive, no, can't really think of anything else positive. That was kind of funny. Like I said, that woman offered to sell me, like, I don't know, 1,000 cards for $50. One of them sold for $100. She had some other Michael Jordans in there too, but I don't. You know what? I don't like selling cards. I don't like doing anything. I don't like breathing. You know. So I do seem to enjoy talking on here because I won't shut up. Um, and running through old memories and trying to string together words in interesting idiosyncratic fashion. And you know, I suppose I should like have a lot of people like do these videos and they got their face like right up to the camera. It's like, dude, I don't want to kiss you or anything like that. Just back the fuck up. But I should like look into the camera more. It might be more enjoyable for people to see my various facial expressions or whatever. But man, you get what you get. You get what you paid for. I'm not on here to make any money or anything like that. Just blowing off some steam. And some people have said that they find it interesting and or useful. So, and plus there's a lot of me talking on here, so you can like, oh, I've had enough of this Steve for today. That's enough Steve. Sometimes you might want only 5 minutes of Steve. You might want no Steve. You might want the whole sandwich. You know, you know. So it doesn't matter as far as like how long I talk. At first I was like, that video from 2013, I was like, this video is already ridiculously long. It was like a half hour long. And it's like, duh, people can just tune out anytime they want. Who the fuck cares? And I had somebody tell me that they would watch my videos more if they were shorter. And it's like, just watch them until you're sick of me. You know, same as I do. I go back and listen to them because I'm forced to before I put them up. I have to listen to them to make sure I didn't say anything that would, be inappropriate or uh, divulge people's names or addresses or any other nonsense that I'm not thinking of at the moment. So I have to go back and sort of like check them for content. And a lot of times, believe me, I'm not fascinated by myself. A lot of times I'm like, ugh. So I expect other people to be the same way. Um, you know, you're not going to hear too many stories about people like de-intubating themselves elsewhere, or um, stories about getting a screw driven in your head while you're conscious, or what it's like to have CRPS, or somebody who's honest enough to admit like there's cat shit like right over there, but hey, that happened on camera and I put it up. It's like, what are you doing, cat? Don't go back. Too late. And I'm like, I hope he's not doing what I think. Oh. I'm like, how the hell am I going to clean that up? I can't get back there. And I just like, I actually had this bucket full of cat litter and a cup. I was just like throwing the cat litter back here. My voice is going now anyway. So this is Wolfman Jack signing off. Goodbye.